Hey, it's Mang with FishAholics, and this is the first video of 3 that I'm going to be doing for a fishing challenge. Now this idea came from a survey that I gave to the FishAholics community. And from the 200 plus people that actually participated, what I got from it was a lot of people are having problems figuring out where to go, when to go, and what to use when they're out fishing. This first video, I wanted it to be about location. So I let the members choose which location I should fish, and what they chose was the stretch between Stir Road and Highway 140 along the California Aqueduct. So for this fishing challenge, members had control over where I should go, and I had to compensate for that by figuring out what I should use and when I should go. The time slot that I chose was from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. And when I hooked up into this fish, it was actually around 7:30ish. And there was actually a lot of surface activity. So I started casting my jerkbait, my speed lure, and nothing was hooking up. I was casting sideways, casting it straight out. Nothing was hooking up. I tried all kinds of retrieves and nothing. So I figured if they're actually active and they're feeding near the surface, maybe they're feeding right by the water's edge also. So I decided to troll, because that was the best way of keeping my lure in that strike zone that morning. Now I want you to pay close attention to this catch. That was a short grab by that striper. So on this particular morning, the stripers seem to just be chasing my lure. They're not really committed to it. And if I was casting all day, that short 10 or 15 seconds may not have been enough time to grab that striper's attention. So it was a pretty slow start to the morning, and I just wanted to try areas around the bridge, around structure, to see if anything's out there. And as you can see, there was nothing. So I decided to cover water and troll again. And as you can see from my other catch, I had 2 rods out there. And here I'm going to show you how I'm using 2 planer boards to walk down the aqueduct to pretty much double my chances of catching these stripers. So I cast out my Lure Jensen planer board, and here I'm going to cast out my speed lure and attach onto that my church tackle planer board. So with 2 rods and 2 planer boards out there, I'll double my chances of catching something. Now I want you to pay close attention to where I'm at with respect to the water's edge. It's always best to walk on the road so that you can stay out of sight and not spook these fish. And since I'm targeting fish that are feeding right on the water's edge, it was key to stay out of sight. And actually this particular catch hit about 5 feet from the water's edge. This fish hit right after a bend, and I love fishing bends, especially when there's no structure or cover around, because that change in current attracts these stripers to those locations. Now when you're fishing a church tackle planer board or a similar design type of planer board, sometimes your board won't trigger, like in this case. Now it's always a good idea to keep walking back. You can't really tell in the video, but I'm actually walking back and dragging it as I'm clipping off the planer board so that I keep that tension on there. And you know what happens when they're slack. You're likely to lose a fish. And just like the first one I caught this morning, if you pay close attention to how it was hooked, you can see that it was just chasing my lure and trying to injure it. It didn't engulf it, it didn't eat it, it just came up to slap it and got hooked as a result. And that right there is my Green Ghost speed lure with my TX6 Magnum church tackle planer board. This is actually the 4th catch. My 3rd catch, I forgot to turn on my camera and I totally missed it. But for this catch, it was actually nearing 11 o'clock. It was actually like 10:50 at this moment. And I hooked up into a fish. And again, this fish hit after a bend in the aqueduct. So, like I said, that change in current really attracts these stripers to those locations. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for video 2 of when I let members choose when I should go, and I'm gonna decide where I should go and what I should use. If you're watching this on the website, make sure to leave a comment below, and if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. I want to give a special shout out to Nick over at Speedlures. I actually dropped by the Speedlure factory before going to the Aqueduct to grab that green ghost, and that was the only color that was hitting that day.